Namaskara, namaskar, namaste, kese hojiva. So I'm continuing the reading from my Instagram page, Seraph Ayla, SERAPH _ EYELA. This is Kéron Kyle, and we're doing a reading for November 6th, tomorrow, up until November 19th, 2022. So the reading that came out was as follows. The first 7 cards, which you could say represents like the first week, like tomorrow up until the following Saturday, were in this order exactly. The 4 of Wands reversed, the 8 of Cups upright, the 7 of Cups upright, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, the 8 of Wands reversed, the Fool reversed, and the Tower card upright. Okay, so when I see cards like these together, this is letting me know that there's something going on in terms of like security or foundation, or even down to like finances, physical security, or environmental security. And it's not always just relationships, but there are major transformations coming along, and we need to be careful of like our investments, or be careful of like our taxes or our loans, because there could be some imprisonment going on if we're not paying certain things back that we need to be paying. So just be mindful of those things, because when I see the Tower card come up and I'm seeing things like this Pentacles reversed, and I'm seeing things like the 7 of Cups next to it, and then it's starting off with like the 4 of Wands reversed, which is all about like feeling like security in a relationship or a strong bond, a strong connection. Those kind of things in a reversal, and like for like the first and the last of the week, that spells trouble. Like either there's some type of frivolous spending going on, or there's some type of like you're just not managing your finances correctly well enough. But essentially be mindful of that. Be mindful of like overspending or not paying back certain loans or taxes, or be mindful of the law or anything that you owe. Just be mindful of that, because this Tower card, it could be a little tricky when I see it. However, if I'm going to read this in a different perspective, in a different light, there seems to be a moving on emotionally. So whatever was repeating itself karmically for you, psychologically, emotionally, there's going to be a moving on from that, because you're going to be having the clarity that you need most likely after November 8th, and most likely after the lunar eclipse. You're going to have the clarity that you need to weed through all the different distractions and all the different paths and all the different indulgences and desires that you've had to actually find that true ace, that true cup that you were actually seeking all along, you know? So there's like, you know, you got the 7 sins, but then you have that holy grail that you're looking for, you know? So like be careful with your desires, because whatever it is that you've been desiring, or like beseeching, or whatever it is that you've been like distracting yourself from, yeah, you're gonna get that truth that you're looking for, likely after the eclipse. Now with that Knight of Pentacles facing everything else, so I see that like you have the 4 of Wands starting everything off, where like the castle, the 4 of Wands and everything seems to be looking out of the card. But then directly after that, you have the 8 of Cups, where the guy is walking away, where one of the characters seems to be walking away. And then they are faced with so many different paths, so many different things that they want to experience. You know, it's the human experience. So you see a lot of different things, but not everything that shines is gold, honey. Because that Knight starts to reflect on their life. They start to look back on where they came from. They start to look back on things. And when they look back at the beginning, they start to look at the seed, the root, the bija. Like, what is the root word? What is the root cause? What is the prima mobile of this whole scenario going into effect? So that Knight of Pentacles reverse is taking time to reflect on their life and introspect. They're taking time to take a step back from things. So whatever fast-paced, hasty actions they were making before, they're taking that time to pause and reflect before they move forward, because they want to make sure that they make the right move. Because the Pentacles are one of those suits, or one of the only suits, that usually represents a lot of longevity with something. So like, yeah, that King of Pentacles is somebody who has longevity in their career, or in their financial department, or even in their home and hearth life. Like they have the marriage or whatnot, you know, just like the Hierophant is like a truth, or also a traditional means, or a cultural means. It can also be getting that marriage, or getting to that final goal, that final union, that final destination. So when I see this card here, whatever you're working towards, yeah, you're working towards that dream career, you're working towards your entrepreneurship or your own business or whatnot, but you're also knowing how to take a healthy amount of time to pause. You're knowing how to do that healthy time to take that healthy break. And you're looking at how did you make it to where you came to. Now, when I see the Eight of Wands reverse right after it, they're being thrown or essentially erecting in the direction of the Knight of Pentacles. Well, let me see. How do I hold it so that you can see what I'm seeing? So, when I see this, communication and action is coming towards that individual about the beginning, about the past, about the path that led them to where they are. And with that kind of communication that came to them, it was more of a higher idea, a higher philosophy, more like, a reality check. Like somebody was like, okay, I understand when you're of a certain, age or a certain state of consciousness, this train of thought or this type of emotional behavior is allowed. It's not, it's kind of frowned upon, but it is allowed. But when you are of this state of consciousness, or when you are of this much knowledge, or when you are of this kind of status, this is not something that we want to be indulging in. So that Mercury and Sagittarius, Eight of Wands reverse, it's definitely about like a higher way of thinking about the way that you came into your life, or a higher way of thinking about the way that you came along the path that you're treading along now. Now, when I break away from that visually, what I see is a dissonance, a schism. So now, once again, the direction has changed. So the Fool reverse, yeah, you're going to go on a brand new journey. You're about to embark on a new beginning, whether you want to or not. There's going to be a new journey for you. So congratulations. May you be blessed in your new journey. Mashallah to your endeavors, inshallah to your, you and your endeavors and your projects, because something new is on its way, leading to that tower, leading to that radical transformation. So when I look at it in this perspective, when I read it this way, I'm not seeing anything negative. I'm not seeing imprisonment. I'm just saying that was one of the meanings of this card earlier. However, when I look at it this way, there's going to be you're taking down the old so you can build something new, because the way that you were living before, it's not it. And you finally taking the time to look at that advice, or look at the way that you were living before, and now you're moving differently. So that way you can, in the second week, start moving towards the life that you actually want. And it went in this order. You had the Four of Swords upright with the Three of Swords next to it. Then the Page of Swords upright. Then you had the Devil upright. Then the Temperance. Then the Knight of Swords. And now the Two of Swords. That's a lot of air sign activity, and that's a lot of communication. Okay, that's a lot of spying, that's a lot of thoughts, that's a lot of talking, that's a lot of thinking, that's a lot of this is why it starts off like this, because there's a decision that needs to be made. And of course, when you have things like these in the middle of the week, or with things like these in the middle of the spread or in the middle of the reading, yeah, essentially there may have been a toxic or an unhealthy or an obsessive beginning to something that you're presently working on. And you're trying to weed out all that negativity that's in it, because it's like you're attached to it, like you're tethered to it. It's almost as though, not in a bad way like an addiction, but more so like you don't want to let go of it. You don't want to release it. You don't want to abolish it from your life. You'd rather amend or find a way to balance it in your life appropriately. Of course, that's going to take a conversation that may be a little hasty or maybe a little assertive or aggressive, but it's going to help with not allowing your emotions to cloud your enlightenment, because you already know what you should do. And I know that most of the individuals that are going to tune into this reading know what they should do, because the card at the bottom of the deck is the Hanged Man upright. You already are enlightened. You already know what you should be doing. You already know the right choice to make. You already know the right moves to make. You're just not putting enough. You don't care enough at this moment to apply your knowledge with your actions, because of certain other things that are going on in life, with that Seven of Cups that I saw earlier. So essentially, what most of you Jiva, what most of you Atmas, Almas, souls, consciousnesses, what most of you beings can do or will do, is you will allow the universe, or you will allow the divine to move the pendulum in a different direction. And if you choose that you don't like that direction, then you're going to utilize your willpower and your consciousness to move yourself in the direction that you want to go into. Likely by doing the very thing that you already know that you should do. So, with that being stated, for these next 2 weeks, you've got radical transformation coming up, and you do have somebody spying on you. Oh yeah. What do I see here? 10 birds in the sky making a magatama. If you look closely above the Page of Swords, it almost angles in a way where it's above his crown chakra. So it could be one of like the soul star chakras or something, or the other higher chakras, like the 9th or 10th one. But it's making like a magatama. Magatama is precisely would be like when you look at the Taiji symbol or the yin yang symbol, the two halves, those are tomoe, or when it's three of them, it makes a magatama. Kind of like the heaven's curse seal right there. So essentially, with all these swords that I'm seeing here, there's a balance going on. And swords are very masculine in their energy and in their approach and in their communications and their thoughts. This could also be about business as well, because the swords are also very business oriented. So keep watching, keep researching, because you may not have the correct viewpoint right now, which is why you're taking that time to pause and look back. Keep watching and researching. It's not a blame game. Because whatever that pain and sorrow is, yes, there's always a cause and an effect. Yes, there's always someone to blame. Yes, there's always an action and an inaction. Yes. That's why there's a rest period. Heal. Then revise that confusion. Work your way through that confusion and that pain with the healing and the rest that you've taken, with the energy that you've taken to accumulate. Keep researching why you are confused or in pain, so you can come to an understanding of that seemingly toxic or obsessive or unhealthy attachment. Remember, the material universe is Maya. It's just illusion. The true universe is your dreams, your astral realms, the spiritual realms above, the energy that's around us. Balance the heavenly, as you can see a name of God in here in Hebrew. Balance the heavenly, again, with your enlightenment, with the sun right there, again, with all the shining radiance. Balance the heavenly soul within yourself. Balance your higher consciousness with your middle consciousness. Okay, so basically, yes, try the best that you can to always choose the higher route. That doesn't mean the selfish way. That means doing things to cater to other people's feelings or emotions, because it's the right thing to do. Especially if there's a lot of blame going on for why a job is not working out, or a business is not working out, or why a relationship isn't working out, or a friendship isn't working out. Take the time to just really see your own error, balance yourself, listen to what those individuals are saying about your work ethic or about your performance, and then amend it. Even if you don't entirely agree, it does not hurt to just amend things in a compassionate way, so that way there's more peace, and that way you're not allowing your emotions to block or cloud your enlightenment. Libras like to make that peace. This is a Libran card, Moon and Libra right here. So see all perspectives, see all aspects, see all angles, see all sides of the situation that's at hand, or the business that you're attending to. That way you can move according to your higher self. And that way you don't have to wait so long for a decision to be made, and you could just move right on along with the decision that needs to be made. That's in accordance with peace for everybody. You know, make the best move that's beneficial for everyone that's involved. So essentially, don't view it as an unhealthy obsession. Change your perspective on it. Change the perspective on the connection, on the bond, because there's light there. The sun is there. The symbol for the glyph for it is there. Then you have it here again. You know, so there's not darkness at hand. There's just a lunar eclipse at hand coming on the 8th. And with all these astrological movements and astronomical movements, just balance yourself. Temperance, Sagittarian energy, balance yourself. Balance your own yin and yang energies. And you will have success in whatever is coming for you in these next 2 weeks, or whatever you're doing in these next 2 weeks. Or at least your communications will be a lot more efficient and successful. Be sure to apologize where you can and when you need to. However, also be stern and be compassionate about erecting your boundaries with people. And be sure to give clear and concise reasoning as to why you stated what you stated. And with that, I bid you adieu. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that way you can get more readings with Kéron Kyle. I love you all. Believe it or not, I do. And I'll see you soon, Divas.